to the home of conservative, not bitter talk. And yes, I'm your host, Todd Huff. You can email me your thoughts, opinions, feedback, even your adoration and praise will be accepted. Todd at ToddHuffShow.com. I want to talk this morning about H.R. 1, the For the People Act. This is what I want to talk about this morning. And, it's anything but the For the People Act. In fact, I saw an article that was written about something that our Secretary of State, Attorney General Todd Rokita, former Secretary of State, something he said about the legislation, and I think that he's exactly correct on this. He says that this is, it basically codifies everything that was irregular or outright wrong, or the opportunities for fraud during last year's election, and makes it the law of the land. And that's what we're looking at. This is an attempt by today's Democrat Party. This is an attempt by today's radical left to ensure that they legislate a political victory, that they legislate a permanent majority for themselves in our government. Basically, effectively making the idea of being a Republican or being a member of the Republican Party having power, making that something that is impossible, statistically impossible to do. And that's what this is ultimately all about. And they have gotten to this point, and they're now making some calculations. They can now, again, they can feel, they can touch the objective, which is to make being a Democrat the equivalent of being a permanent party that's in power constantly. They can feel it, they can taste it, they can sense it, they can see it. It's just grazing the tips of their fingers. And so this is their objective through this piece of legislation. I want to go through an article here written by the Epic Times that I got, I think it was Friday, but it was sometime over the weekend. It says this. It says that there's key changes to election laws in H.R. 1. Again, it's named the For the People Act. For the People Act, which, of course, the radical left is really good at naming. Well, they're really good at framing things and using PR and marketing. I remember a couple of years ago, Nancy Pelosi said the Democrats had a marketing problem. She said they had a messaging problem because they have great ideas. They have great ideas, she says. It's just the matter that says we can't get this information out to the people. We're struggling with our message. That is 100% incorrect. That is 180 degrees out of whack. The Democrat Party, as it stands today, is nothing but a marketing and PR machine. Nothing but a marketing and PR machine that promotes and perpetuates ideas that are absolutely atrocious, that are anti-constitutional, anti-American in many ways. And that is what the party has become. It's become a mouthpiece. It's become a marketing, basically a marketing organization for radical ideas and radical people to overthrow how this country was founded. And folks, it's within their reach. They can see it, but they've got some Senate rules that they have to figure out how to deal with. This filibuster is a major thorn in their side. Major thorn in their side. And I have to tell you that I have to commend Senator Joe Manchin for standing against those that just want to throw this rule out the window so that Democrats can become the permanent majority. Now, he may succumb, and that may change at some point in time. There are no guarantees in politics, but that's where we stand. So let's look at this legislation. Let's look at some of the key changes that it makes to election laws. H.R. 1, again, also known as the For the People Act. I guess if you're against this bill, you're against people, supposedly, the way that the left talks about these things. But there are 30 changes, 30 changes that this bill, according to the Epoch Times, makes to election law. Now, this bill itself is 791 pages. 791 pages. It has passed the House of Representatives, and it's now the only thing standing between it and being the law of the land is the U.S. Senate, where it's 50-50 split. Kamala Harris cast the tie-breaking vote, but there is a mechanism in the U.S. Senate called the filibuster that says any legislation that does not have 3/5 of the senator's support to end debate on the issue will not be called to a vote on the Senate floor. I'm paraphrasing, but that's the rule. So in other words, until there are 60 U.S. senators who say, let's stop debating this bill and let's call it up for a vote, it cannot be called up for a vote. And this is really the Republicans' last bastion of hope when it comes to radical legislation working its way through the United States Congress today. This is the last hope because they can't stop anything in the House of Representatives, and they can't stop a simple majority. They can do a 50-50 split, assuming all of the Republican rhinos like Murkowski and Susan Collins and Mitt Romney and whoever else is in that group, assuming all those folks stay with the Republicans, which sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. But the best they can do is a 50-50 split, and then the radical Kamala Harris will cast the tie-breaking vote. By the way, Kamala Harris was rated as the most liberal senator when she was a senator in the U.S. Senate. And so if that gives you any idea of where her and the administration would vote, there you go. So, okay, let's look at some of the changes that this atrocious piece of legislation does to election law. Number one, reading here from the EpochTimes.com, an article here about H.R. 1. It says it gives the federal government authority to administer elections. Although the U.S. Constitution gives states the authority to run their elections as they see fit, that is true, Democrats have interpreted the Constitution in their favor. Surprise, surprise. Stating that in H.R. 1, quote, Congress finds that it has broad authority to regulate the time, place, and manner of congressional elections under the Elections Clause of the Constitution, Article 1, Section 4. So suddenly, as is typically the case with the radical left, they find something in the Constitution that no one has ever seen before, but they believe that they have the authority to regulate and to basically federalize elections, which is a dangerous thing to do. This, again, I marvel sometimes. People, and I know you understand this, the vast majority of people that are listening to my voice understand this. Even the name of this country that we live in. We are the United States of America. That name is not just a happen chance byproduct of just randomness. It is a group of states, autonomous states, that willingly united under a federal constitution. They agreed to participate. They weren't forced by, an iron fist to agree to the rules and to the Constitution. They were, in fact, welcomed to craft that document. They were welcomed in to have their voice heard. That's where we have things like the Great Compromise. That's why, folks, that's why we have 2 U.S. senators per state, and that's why we have a House of Representatives that is proportional to that state's population. It's why we have that. It's also why, in a roundabout way, I suppose, no, I'd say pretty directly, that we have something called the Electoral College, because states elect presidents, states elect Their congressmen, congresswomen, senators, states do these things. Those folks represent their state in our federal government. That is how this works. We are states, first and foremost. States have the right and the authority to run their own elections. Even from a practical standpoint, just the whole issue, and I know you're not allowed to talk about election integrity. Well, you could talk about it until 2020, until November of 2020. You could talk about Trump stealing the election in 2016. That was cool. That was hip. You could have an investigation for years that was politically motivated, that was totally fabricated. The whole Russian collusion nonsense, the dossier and all that stupid junk was totally and completely fabricated, gibberish and nonsense. Waste of time, money. It was intellectually dishonest. I could go on and on. But if you want to talk about just this idea of election integrity as a whole, and I'm not talking about anything that was alleged to have happened back here in November. I'm simply saying, if you want to make an election more secure, then you having 50 individual elections is much more secure than having one federal election, one that's managed by the federal government. Because you have 50 states that are implementing their own best practices and policies to protect their election from, say, hackers or people to go in and do things that shouldn't be done, versus one system. I mean, that makes sense, right? Anyway, this idea of federalizing elections is kind of, I don't know, it's a big part, a big foundational part of what this legislation is about. Number two, the Epoch Times writes, this legislation limits a plaintiff's access to federal courts when challenging H.R. 1. It would mandate that any lawsuits challenging the constitutionality of H.R. 1 could only be filed in the most liberal of places, the District Court for the District of Columbia, and all plaintiffs would be required to, quote, file joint papers or to be represented by a single attorney at oral argument. In other words, this becomes, I guess, effectively one big class action lawsuit. You cannot challenge. You can't just go to the federal courts. You have to go to the D.C. court. They're picking the court where people can challenge the legality, and they're basically saying there can only be, effectively, as I read this, it looks like one lawsuit, because they're going to force them all to kind of go in together and be represented by a single attorney. Number three, and I've got to take a break here. I was just dutifully informed me that it's time to take a break, but I want to do number three here as well. This legislation mandates automatic voter registration in all 50 states. 19 states already have this, but they want to mandate in the remaining 31 states. Democrats call this, quote, modernizing elections, meaning automatically registering any person that is given information to designated government agencies such as the Department of Motor Vehicles, a public university, or a social service agency would be registered. It also mandates, this legislation also mandates same-day and online registration. So basically every person is going to be, by and large, I mean, how do you look at the people that do not have dealings with the government agency at all, whether they're dealing with social services, Department of Motor Vehicles, going to college at a public university. Any of these actions would automatically register a person to vote, to become an eligible voter. Now, just really quickly about this, and I'll take a quick time out. The concept, one of the things we learned, I think, if we didn't know it all, well, we knew it already, but one of the things that we learned through 2020, this November of 2020 election, was that anytime that there are people on the rolls who have no intention to vote, or maybe they can't vote, maybe they're dead, for example. These sorts of things create, I mean, it's common sense, But this creates problems. Anytime someone is given permission to vote, but they have no intention to do it, or they can't because they're dead or they live in another state or whatever the case may be, that gives someone a key to entry to our system of voting, and that key can be used to do things nefariously against the law. Now, the left acts like this never happens. In fact, they act like, for example, someone who's illegally in this country, someone who's crossed our borders illegally, would never, ever cross into the voting booth illegally. They act like that's the sacred line in the sand for someone who's already broken U.S. laws. They would cross our border illegally, but not cross into our voting booths illegally. Of course, it doesn't take a genius to see how this stuff happens. We could point to literally hundreds and hundreds of people who have been tried and convicted for these sorts of things, voter fraud in general. But the left acts like it never happens. And the left just wants to continue to make voting, again, I don't want to make it difficult. I know some of you might say to me, Todd, I want it to be difficult. I want it to be, you have to be intentional about it, and you have to basically have every intention to follow through with it. Because if you don't, and you're a registered voter who doesn't exercise that right, things happen. Again, it can be used, that key can be used by someone who knows, that they can use that against our system of voting in this great nation. So lots more wrong with this legislation. We'll get to that after the break. You're listening here to the home of conservative, not bitter talk. I am your host, Todd Huff. Back in a minute.
Stay on top of the nonsense our colleges are subjecting students to today by listening to Todd's monthly interview series with Matt Lamb, assistant editor of The College Fix. Listen at toddhuffshow.com/college. Brought to you by Apprentice University. With so many societal changes, everyone's talking about apprenticeships and college debt. Businesses seek employees with practical problem-solving skills. Visit apprentice.university to learn about our demanding academics and paid apprenticeships in excess of tuition. No debt, in-demand skills, Christian community.
Family owned since 1973, Edwards Equipment at 1375 East Main Street in Danville is ready to meet your equipment needs by selling, renting, and servicing several makes and models of lightweight residential or heavy-duty commercial equipment. We carry and service top-name brands like Ferris, Kubota, Steel, Gravely, Honda Power, Land Pride, and more. Visit edwardstractor.com or call 317-745-6427 to check out our clearance specials today. At Edwards Equipment, we don't just sell you any piece of equipment, we sell you the right piece of equipment.
Hi, this is Caleb with Gluff Plumbing. Does your home need some plumbing updates? Gluff Plumbing is your solution. We specialize in updating old plumbing, everything from water heaters to well pumps, to underground leaks and everything that has to do with water entering and leaving the home, including water and sewer main excavations. We pride ourselves on old-fashioned customer service. Call Gluff Plumbing at 765-721-6789 or visit gluffplumbing.com. That's GLUFF plumbing.com. Call us today.
Wallace Construction is a family-owned business with 45 years' experience in asphalt, concrete, and seal coating. At Wallace Construction, our wide variety of experience and top-notch customer service have helped us build a strong reputation in central Indiana. But we don't rest on that reputation. We build it, one job at a time. If you have an upcoming project, call us at 317-422-5356. That's Wallace Construction, 317-422-5356, and ask for Richard or Roger.
Corin Homes is expanding their 55-plus community. Briar Creek is the only senior manufactured home community in Indianapolis featuring Indiana-built homes. Floor plans and finishes starting at $75,000. Enjoy affordable, low-maintenance lifestyle with the charm of a residential neighborhood. Located minutes from I-465 in Fort Harrison State Park. Corin Homes, family owned and operated since 1955. Check us out at COHRONhomes.com. Mention the Todd Huff Show and receive a $1,000 discount on your new home.
What if your bank treated you like a person instead of an account number? What if you could sit across from the person you are opening an account with or requesting a loan from and have an actual conversation? You may be thinking, Todd, that's crazy talk. Well, not at Citizens Bank. Come visit them in Monrovia and meet Nick Gibson, their new branch manager, and the rest of their staff. Or give them a call at 317-831-0110. Citizens Bank is an equal housing lender and member FDIC.
Hi, this is Kenton with Christian Community Connect. We're a network of business professionals that are committed to living out our faith in the marketplace by preferring one another in love while serving everyone. With online listings at $27 per month, if you're a Christian in business, committed to treating others as you would want to be treated, we would love to include you. Check our reviews and sign up at ChristianCommunityConnect.com.
Our sense of smell stimulates memory and emotion. A scent can seemingly transport us to another place in time. Homemade, hand-poured candles and melts from spur-of-the-moment creations will give your nose the experience the rest of your body is missing during any season of the year. Crackling firewood, fresh-cut grass, Macintosh apple, and even racing fuel are some of their over 200 engaging fragrances. Visit spurofthemomentcreations.com and enter coupon code TODD at checkout to receive 15% off your order today.
All your life, you've planned and taken care of the people you love. They always knew you had a plan. Taking care of your final wishes will give them one final gift. Buying your headstones direct through Thomas Monument saves your loved ones additional stress during a difficult time and saves money by cutting out the middleman. Call 317-244-6525 or go online to thomasmonument.com to understand why families have trusted us since 1962.
Welcome back, my friends. We are going through this atrocious piece of legislation with the help of the Epic Times here, pointing out some changes to election laws that have been, or that will be, implemented should this atrocious H.R. 1 pass the U.S. Senate. Again, for those who may be joining us now and not the beginning, H.R. 1 is known as the For the People Act. That's right, for the people. If you vote against this, I guess you are not for the people. Actually, if you vote for this, you are for Democrat Party domination and one-party rule. You are in favor, if you vote for H.R. 1, of legislating the Republican Party out of existence through the manipulation of election laws. Anyway, this H.R. 1 has a lot of problems. It's changing. It would change a lot of laws, but we do have, I want to repeat this for those who maybe were not here at the beginning, but I do want to say that the filibuster in the U.S. Senate is the one thing that stands between this law and, basically being the law of the land. It's the one thing that stands between it just being proposed legislation and approved and signed legislation by the President of the United States. So you're going to hear pressure here. In fact, you heard about maybe a Biden executive order over the weekend that is designed to kind of put pressure on the Senate to do something here. Republicans in the Senate must absolutely positively stand firm. Now, I know the Senate passed its version of COVID relief, so-called COVID relief. It's just a massive spending bill where they're going to throw a little money. I don't want to say a little money, but in proportion to the other money they're spending, a little money to the Americans, average American making under $150,000 per year as a married couple or $75,000 individually should qualify for a $1,400 per person. This is per dependent. So if you have 2 children and you and your spouse, this is going to now pass the House of Representatives. I don't foresee them changing anything else and sending it back to the Senate. This will be signed into law by the President of the United States. Unemployment benefits expanded and extended, including a federal what are they calling that? That $300. It did drop from $400 to $300. That is extended through, I think, sometime in September. So basically 6 more months of federal unemployment in addition to the state unemployment. So all those things, and there's a lot more in there as well. Lots of Democrat pet projects and that sort of thing. But that's passed. It's passed the Senate. It's going to be passing the House and be signed into the law soon. In fact, it might be signed into law this week. I think the House is voting on it tomorrow, and the president will sign it. And I presume money will start going out within days after that, maybe even next week, maybe later this week. I don't know. The last time it hit really quickly. So we're past that. We're talking about this other bill that's it's been talked about, but it is a disastrous piece of legislation here. So let's look at some of the other things that it would change about election law. It mandates, again, I'm looking here at the Epic Times, it mandates no-fault absentee ballots. As the Epic Times writes here, it says this provision would do away with witness signature or notarization requirements for absentee ballots. Additionally, listen to this part, folks. Additionally, it would force states to accept ballots received up to 10 days after Election Day. So it's now going to force all the terrible things that we saw unfolding this past November, which you can say, even without making claims that there was violation of election integrity. You can make these statements without referencing any of that, without suggesting that an election was stolen or anything of the sort. You can simply say that the things that we saw implemented, say in the state of Pennsylvania or the state of all these states that were taking ballots, North Carolina. I remember talking about this months before Election Day. I remember Pedals did a graphic that showed states that were going to accept ballots days and weeks after Election Day. I think Michigan was something like 14 days after Election Day. So all this, remember we had the voting stop on election night, which I'm not as sure if YouTube allows me to say that or not anymore, but that did happen. That happened essentially simultaneously in, a half dozen, 5 or 6 states. And they all ended up being states where there were questions about the final counts. States that had Trump well in the lead at the beginning, but we had all these outstanding mail-in ballots. All these outstanding mail-in ballots that were being counted and tabulated, we were told. And so we didn't know the results of these state elections for days. That's now going to become, if this law were to pass, the law of the land. This would be the normal course of events. You would have to sit there and, you think about it, with all this technology that we have, with all of the the capabilities of doing things quickly in this great nation, voting has actually regressed. And it's not because it's safer, folks. It's not because we're trying to prevent people from voting who shouldn't be voting, making sure that the only votes that are counted are registered votes. That's not what we're spending more time trying to secure. In fact, what we're doing is exactly the opposite. We're trying to make it so easy and so simple that people can vote virtually. They can show up on Election Day. They can show up on it says here, same day. We talked about that last break, or last segment. Same day and online registration. I don't know. Why do we think that this is a secure thing? We act as though there's no online hacking. We act as though nothing can happen or go wrong if somebody's rushed through the system. And what is wrong? What's wrong with if states want to have a witness signature for a mail-in ballot? Folks, mail-in ballots, I know people act like this is so safe, but give me a break, especially when you mail out massive amounts of ballots to everybody. Here, just drop these in the mail, send these back. You don't have to sign them. You don't need a witness. You don't need anything. Just fill it in and send it back, and we'll count it. How in anyone's right mind can they not see the problem in that? If they don't see the risk in that and at least propose ways to prevent against said risks from becoming reality, then they're not interested in the integrity of our elections. They're interested in one-party domination and one-party rule. That's what they're interested in. Because if you can't even see the dangers and the risks here, you're either blinded by truth or have no interest in truth. you certainly have no interest in the integrity of an election. So, timeout is in order. You're listening here to the home of conservative, not bitter talk. I'm your host, Todd Huff, back here in just a minute.
Looking to make a conservative, not bitter fashion statement? Check out our apparel online, including brand new items at toddhuffshow.com/shop today.
The printing industry has changed a lot since we opened for business in 1931, but what our clients expect from us really hasn't changed. Quality print, fast turnaround, and competitive prices. We've learned a lot at Moeller Printing over 86 years and 3 generations. Why not put that experience to work for you? Call 317-353-2224 and mention discount code RADIO to receive 10% off your first order. Call Moeller Printing at 317-353-2224.
Do you use the expensive blue or yellow pills to charge your sex life? Are you thinking about it? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pills deliver the exact same results for less than $3. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. And right now, radio callers will get 44 blue or yellow pills for $120 with free discreet shipping. You can save more than $700 off pharmacy prices. Charge your sex life now and save a ton of money. Call now and get your 44 pills and save over $700 and qualify for free shipping. Stop overpaying and call right now.
800-764-9168. 800-764-9168. 800-764-9168. That's 800-764-9168.
Fireplaces can be beautiful and even essential in heating some homes. But did you know they could be dangerous to your family if not properly maintained? Chimneys need to be cleaned and inspected annually. My family and I had Smalling Masonry inspect ours. They are friendly, informative, on time, and helped us use our wood-burning stove more efficiently. Call Christian-owned Smalling Masonry today at 317-903-8121 and mention my name, Todd Huff, for a 15% off chimney inspection and sweep.
Geothermal tax credits are back, making this the perfect time to install a new Climate Master geothermal system. Take advantage of this limited time 26% tax credit and begin cutting your heating and cooling bills immediately. Visit indianageothermal.com/info to get your free Climate Master information kit or call 317-829-1490. Visit indianageothermal.com/info or call 317-829-1490. Geothermal, it's cheaper than you think.
All right, here we go. $100 down, $200 back at $300.
I went to my first firearms auction a few years ago. It was hosted by TJ Freege, one of my good friends from high school, who is a champion auctioneer and one of the best in the business. In spite of objections from liberal legislators, I walked away with a .22 rifle and a few boxes of ammunition. And I had a great afternoon with my grandpa that I won't soon forget. If you've ever wondered what treasure you could find in an auction, visit FreegeAuctioneers.com and take a look at their upcoming Central Indiana auction schedule. That's Freege, F-R-E-I-J-E, auctioneers.com. Visit FreegeAuctioneers.com.
Hi, I'm TJ Freege, owner and lead auctioneer at Freege & Freege Auctions and Marketing. I invite you to come see the power of live auctions. It's fast, it's fun, it's transparent, and it's the absolute best way to ensure you get fair market value for your asset today. Get results, go auction.
Business leaders, are your employees satisfied with their jobs? Do they enjoy coming to work and feel valued? Workforce Chaplains can help. Locally owned, we work with organizations to provide holistic care to their employees. I'm Marcus Schrader, president of Workforce Chaplains, and we offer your team a 24/7 support system that positively affects your company's culture and productivity. With our personalized pricing and diverse support system, we handle the issues that you wish you had time for. To learn more, visit us at workforcechaplains.com.
Welcome back. You've tuned in to America's Reality Czar here with the Todd Huff Show. By the way, this program is brought to you in part by our friends at Carriage House Woodworking. Folks, they do countertops, they do cabinets. It's a family-owned business. They'll walk you through every step of the process. And they also are currently offering a free sink base with qualifying purchases right now. For more information, give them a call, 317-406-3042, 317-406-3042. Carriage House Woodworking. Be sure to tell them that the Todd Huff Show sent you. So going through this piece of legislation, and we'll just do this segment. I'll have Pedals post this article outlining all the changes in that this bill would do to the election law, so you can see it. We'll post it on social media and our website a little bit later today. But we went through a couple of the things. There's 30 or 31 points here that they make in, I guess, changes that would be made by this legislation. It prevents election officials, number 5, from removing ineligible voters from registries or confirming the eligibility and qualifications of voters. Think about that. Why would we want to do that? Someone comes in and says, hey, I want to vote. You're just supposed to say, okay, sign you up. Doesn't matter. Nope, don't want to know. Don't want to know anything. Just go ahead and sign them up. It restores the Voting Rights Act. The Voting Rights Act, I should say, bans state voter ID laws. It forces states to allow individuals to vote without an ID, and instead they can merely sign a statement in which they claim they are who they say they are. Who needs an ID when you can sign a piece of paper that no one's going to prosecute someone if they lie about anyway, statistically speaking? How are you going to... It's just... how are you going to prove this? Right? How are you going to prove it? We probably won't have a signature on file on these registrations anymore. So what are you going to match it again? I mean, this is just one big mess. It ensures illegal immigrants can vote. The bill would shield non-citizens from prosecution if they are registered to vote automatically, and agencies are not required to keep records of who declined to affirm their citizenship. So, I mean, it is everything that's wrong. Everything that needs to be done to election laws to make it safer, which includes, again, I don't want to make it unnecessarily burdensome for people to vote. That is not the way that we should function in this great nation. It should be something that we have to seek out and intentionally do. And if we're not going to participate, we shouldn't have an open record for someone else to fraudulently cast a vote in our name. I mean, that's we should try to eliminate that. And obviously, people are going to be not always voting. There's no way to have 100% participation. But I tell you what, you're making this so easy at some point for all sorts of bad things to happen in an election if this is the route that you're going to go. Voting by mail needs to be restricted more than to be opened up more. Having people have no voter ID, that is ridiculous. That is completely insane. Here, sign this piece of paper and just tell me you're who you say you are. Okay, there you go. I'll cast my ballot. What are you going to do? I mean, it's totally insane. It's totally insane, and there's a lot more to this. We're not going to go through every piece of this. You can, as I said, Pedals will put this out on social media and our website a little bit later today, and you can take a look at it yourself. But there is a lot wrong with this legislation. Our Attorney General here in the state of Indiana is exactly right. Todd Rokita, I appreciate the comments that he's making against this legislation. We need to buckle up, because we're early in this Congress, right? I mean, we've got 2 years of this nonsense basically to deal with. So we're going to have to see more people standing up and vocally being vocal about it, telling us what is wrong and why we should be concerned about this, what's going to be a constant drip, drip, drip threat. You talk about a threat to democracy. Here you go. These sorts of things. The For the People Act, right? The For the People Act is passed the House of Representatives, now stands in the U.S. Senate, and there's going to be pressure to do something, anything whatever it takes, as long as it passes this into law so that Democrats can become the permanent majority and make Republicans the permanent minority, the permanent political underclass that has no voice or say in the government whatsoever. They're okay if there's some Republicans, just for the sake of show, of bipartisanship, of working with the minority party. But when it gets down to it, they have power now. They have no intentions whatsoever of giving it up under any circumstances, and that even includes even if they have to make ridiculously stupid election law and to federalize this stuff. And that's what we're doing. That's what they're trying to do here. So they've got a tough battle to fight because of the filibuster and the need for 60 votes in the Senate. But again, we're way too close. We're way too close to this for my comfort. It's already passed the House of Representatives, sitting before the Senate, and I've got to take a break. When I come back, I want to shift gears. I want to talk about, yes, our friends at CNN have done it again. Chris Cuomo never disappoints me. Share a soundbite of something ridiculously stupid he said on his program here recently. We'll talk about that on the other side of the break. You're listening to Conservative Not Bitter Talk. I'm your host, Todd Huff. Back in just a minute.
Had enough of the cancel culture? Why not fight back by directly supporting the advertisers who make this program possible? Visit supportouradvertisers.com to give those who help bring this program to you the opportunity to earn your business. Find out more about businesses like Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing, Care to Change, and Interior Construction Services by visiting supportouradvertisers.com today.
There's a lot going on in the world today, and with so much going on, it's sometimes hard to maintain balance. Jesus said in John 16:33, "In this world you will have tribulation, but take heart, I have overcome the world." I'm Pastor Jeff Floyd of the Martinsville First Church of the Nazarene. To experience how life can be better with Jesus, come worship at M1 Church at 10 a.m. this Sunday, 1609 John R. Wooden Drive in Martinsville, or catch our live stream service on Facebook at M1 Church. For more information, visit m1nazarene.org. Have a great day today in Jesus.
Hey Indy, Sid here with Kill Dent Removal. We specialize in a paint-free repair process known as PDR. Our certified master technicians remove dents and dings of all shapes and sizes, including hail damage, with zero body fillers, zero painting, and zero diminished value. Most repairs are completed the same day, many even while you wait. Check us out at killadentremoval.com. And remember, folks, don't paint your car, go PDR.
Healthcare is expensive and complicated. Did you know that as a Christian business owner, it is possible to provide access to affordable health benefits for your employees? Remodel Health has helped employers across the United States save over $22 million in the past 3 years. Our innovative approach allows your employees to have the health benefits they need at a cost you can afford. Go to remodelhealth.com/Todd to help your employees find the healthcare they deserve. Remodel Health. Rethink employee health benefits.
Our word can't be diluted because we are taught that a promise is a commitment in which you always follow through. No ifs, ands, or buts. So every time you walk through Greg Hubler Chevrolet doors, you can count on the advice and expertise we provide you. Because when we make a promise, we keep it. Greg Hubler Chevrolet. Promise kept. Visit GregHublerChevy.com. Find new roads.
I want to get one more season out of my furnace or air conditioner. Have you or someone you know ever made that statement? Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing has heard it a lot. Did you know that furnaces and air conditioners are most likely to break down when they're under stress? That means during the hottest and coldest months of the year, like those months quickly approaching us. With winter on the horizon, now is the time to replace that old rickety unit. With 0% financing for up to 72 months and up to $600 in instant rebates, now is the time to buy. Doing great work is Economy's priority, and the satisfaction of their customers is their number one goal, guaranteed. Make your home comfortable this winter. Contact Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing today by calling 317-831-5279. Or visit them at economyheatingandair.com.
Hunting, fishing, bows, guns, ammo, safes, and more. The Outdoorsman Sports Shop in Greenwood has all the gear you need for your outdoor experience. We have a huge selection of brands that other shops don't carry, and a friendly, knowledgeable staff ready to answer all your outdoor adventure questions. At Outdoorsman Sports Shop in Greenwood, you can even hone your archery skills at our indoor shooting range. Find us online at outdoorsmansportshop.com. So get outdoors, but bring the right gear.
I do want to tie up one, loose end on this filibuster. Oz was asking me this during the break, and I thought I would at least clarify this. So now this bill, H.R. 1, moves to the For the People Act, what we've been talking about this program, moves to the U.S. Senate. And the whole point of the filibuster, I told Oz here, if it goes to a vote, then we've lost. The whole point of the filibuster is to never allow this to go to a vote. So it won't ever be voted down in the Senate because they have the votes to pass it. Presumably, I'm guessing every Democrat's for this. I don't think any Republican would be, but who knows? We got Murkowski and Collins over there, so I don't know. I don't think so. I think Republicans would stand firm against this, but that would give them a 50-50 tie, and then, of course, Kamala Harris would break it. But the filibuster keeps it from being voted on, and you have to have 60 votes to invoke what they call cloture, which means debate on an issue is done, now it gets voted on. If it does that, if they get to 60 votes, which again, it shouldn't, because voting as one of the 60, if you vote for cloture, vote to invoke cloture and end the filibuster, you are effectively voting for the passage of this bill because that's what will happen. So anyway, just wanted to share that. But I do, I think it's an uphill battle for them. But, again, way too close for comfort. CNN, I told you I'd play this. They never, ever, ever disappoint me. They disappoint me if I'm looking for news or reality. But if I'm looking for entertainment, I never get disappointed. But see, it's entertainment that they don't mean this part to be entertainment. So Chris Cuomo, tough guy Chris Cuomo, is talking to Don Lemon. They're passing, one of the programs ends and it leads to the other. I don't know which one ends first. I don't really care, but I think it's Lemon's program ends first. But they're talking, they're doing the pass, from one to the other. And Chris Cuomo starts singing the song To Good Times, to which Don Lemon is surprised he knows the words. And Chris Cuomo makes, you're going to hear him singing here first, but you're going to hear his comments as well, which, again, what's interesting to me is that this offended people that apparently watch CNN on a regular basis who are not offended by all the other stupid stuff that's happening on that program, on that outlet. But this apparently did it. Here it is, Chris Cuomo being an idiot. Here you go.
Just looking out of the window, watching the asphalt grow, thinking how it all looks hand-me-down.
How do you know the words to Good
Here we
Time?
go.
You know I'm black on the inside.
Good Time.
Don Lemon doesn't even respond to that. Chris Cuomo says, I'm black on the inside. Chris Cuomo is black on the inside. I'm black on the inside. Now, look, I know. Look, he is joking, and I think that we're way too sensitive to this kind of stuff. I don't think there was any ill intent or anything here today, but it's just remarkable from the people who are offended by everything, offended by being offended that they might be offended that you don't see the world as they see the world, and that, of course, makes you a racist. Now, of course, he can get away with saying he's black on the inside. This did offend some of their listeners or viewers or whatever. A couple dozen of them probably, but I heard them. I saw some of the tweets. They were highly offended by this. But again, how can you be offended by this and not the other things that happen on CNN on a regular basis? Sit tight. Going to wrap up here after the break. Be back in just a minute.
Enrollment in Todd's Conservative Not Bitter University is now open. For a limited time, save $10 on Todd's first course, A Christian's Guide to Being a Patriot. For more information or to enroll, visit conservativenotbitter.com. Sponsored in part by Workforce Chaplains. Could your business or organization benefit from the services of a professional team of chaplains? Meet the needs of your employees and foster an excellent work environment with Workforce Chaplains. For more information, visit workforcechaplains.com today.
There is plenty to worry about these days. If you're working with Blake Hornsby at Northwestern Mutual, your retirement and financial security doesn't need to be one of them. Blake is a time-tested financial advisor with over 20 years of experience at Northwestern Mutual. For an independent review of your financial planning needs, call Blake and mention the Todd Huff Show for a free initial consultation. Call 317-215-8322 or visit blakehornsby.com. Invest in your peace of mind with Blake Hornsby at Northwestern Mutual.
Are you tired of manually opening the gate every time you pull in the drive, especially during the freezing cold, pouring rain, or hot, humid weather? Then Gatekeeper Services has your solution. They offer affordable residential and commercial motorized units for your gated properties. Veteran-owned with over 50 years' experience in motorized gate sales and repairs on any make or model, and with numerous entry control options, Gatekeeper Services takes pride being certified in both automated gate system design and operator installation. Simplify your life today by calling 317-714-4061.
Have you seen the price of custom cabinetry and countertops lately? If you're looking for quality, affordable remodels, call Carriage House Woodworking. Our helpful professionals will walk you through every step of the process. We're offering a free sink base with qualifying purchases. Just enter CHWEINC.com/Todd or call 317-406-3042. Call Carriage House Woodworking. You won't have to spend your kids' inheritance just to upgrade your kitchen.
This is the sound of your typical do-it-yourselfer in completely over his head.
For heating, plumbing,
and electrical done right.
Call Mr. Quick. Call Mr. Quick. Dial the number, spell the words. For on time.
When life is hard for the women you care about, there is help with issues such as widowhood, anxiety, depression, or abuse. They don't have to go through it alone. Peace Restored is there to walk with women through the journey. Peace Restored helps women through free mentoring, counseling, and education. When life is hard, Peace Restored is there to help women you care about find hope and healing. To learn more, visit peacerestored.net.
If you own a rental property, you know the hassles of marketing, renting, collecting, and the handling of maintenance and repairs. One call to Zuluscape can put an end to your property management headaches. Zuluscape has over 20 years of experience helping landlords throughout central Indiana and taking the stress out of owning a rental. From A to Z, let Zuluscape handle it all so you can enjoy owning a rental instead of hating being a landlord. Give us a call at 317-663-8485 or visit our website at zuluscape.com.
Need to refresh or renovate your commercial space? Call Interior Construction Services today, providing the highest level of quality construction at a competitive price. Our service-minded team is here to deliver the detail-oriented environment you're looking to create, on time and on budget. Call us at 317-991-4660 or visit us online at interiorconstruct.com. Interior Construction Services. Progressive, productive, professional.
Welcome back. So, folks, that is, well, I've said before, and I'll ask again, if you've not downloaded the podcast, that's something I hope that you'll consider doing, downloading the podcast. It's free. You just go to Apple Podcasts, or if you listen to a podcast somewhere else as well, we'll let you do that. I don't really care where you listen, but it's, in today's world, it's, I think, the best way to make sure that you can continue to hear this program. Although there's no guarantees with Apple and all those things, as well as we've seen with Parler. But nonetheless, Todd Huff Show, search it there. It's completely free. And while you do that, be sure to share your comments and rate the program as well. Help us reach more people as we're continuing to try to grow and get out the conservative, not bitter message. But I appreciate you all very much. Thank you for listening. Have a great day. We will see you tomorrow, SDG. Take care.
Are you concerned about your investments? Intrepid Financial has been educating, customizing, and servicing Hoosier investment portfolios since 1998. Our family-owned and operated business builds strong bonds with our clients. When you call, we answer the phone, always ready to walk you through your investment strategy. Intrepid means without fear. We want our clients to be fearless, to feel secure with their investments. Give us a call at 317-818-1776 or visit us online at intrepidfinancial.com.
Does your business have a plan for social media marketing? Are you reaching the right audiences through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and the list goes on? Are you learning from the data? Jarbo can help. Our team doesn't just come in and tell you how to be successful. We help you execute and measure your sales and marketing efforts. Give us a call at 317-834-6560 or visit us online at jarbomarketing.com. That's jarbomarketing.com. Make social media work for you.
As a listener of this program, I have no doubt that you embrace the value of hard work, honesty, and integrity. And when you have the opportunity to work with a company that fully embraces and shares these values, I'm sure you jump at it. Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing is just that type of company in Central Indiana. Jeff and Jod Woods have a team of professional technicians here to help tune up your furnace or install a quality new train system. And they're also here to fix those nasty plumbing problems that seem to happen at the absolute worst time. So the next time you have a plumbing, heating, or cooling need, give the good folks at Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing a call. Call 317-831-5279. That's 317-831-5279. Or visit economyheatingandair.com.